Hello, 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 ASMR Nation. Okay, this is not really a video that I want to ever have to do, but it's heavy on my mind. It's heavy on the mind of a lot of Americans and non-Americans, just to stay informed about what goes on over here. But if you'd rather not, I get it. I don't think I would want to stay updated on what's going on in America if I didn't have to. And I know some Americans choose to not pay attention, and to each their own. I don't get it. Like, there's a whole trend on TikTok right now about, oh, I don't have to worry about anything because my husband has to worry about it. I don't know anything about politics. I don't know anything about current events because I'm spoiled and I just let other people worry about it. That does not impress me. Okay. I think that whether something affects you or not, it's definitely relevant if it does. But things that don't affect you, if there's no relevancy, like, and you just, I don't really have respect for that. Now, I do understand you get overwhelmed and you have to tune it out and you have to take breaks. I get it. I get anxiety and I get even not being able to understand because your brain can't understand it because of whatever's your brain just can't. I'm not talking about that. Anyways, I'm gonna deliver this in a soft spoken voice just so that it's more relaxing. I wish that there was more current events delivered in a soft spoken voice. Most of our ASMR true crime that I love to watch is about older stuff, and I get it because, you know, some people think, oh, if you're doing ASMR and true crime, that's disrespectful to something that's current. But some people just need to be updated in a calm way versus like the urgency when you hear news outlets or you hear people talking about it kind of frantically, and that's more upsetting. So sometimes you just want to take in information, frank information, facts, get informed, but not have the intensity of a regular, news outlet or whatever. So I pulled these articles from like basically the top Google search on some of these things. I actually put them in my notes. And the first one is Ralph Yarl. This is truly heartbreaking. And I'm going to read you the article. This one is from CNN.com. But real quickly, I want to talk about what I know as an American, and as an American that's grown up in a house full of guns and what I would call ammosexuals, brought up around ammosexuals. So I am comfortable around guns, and but I am not pro NRA, and we have a big problem, and this is why we can't have nice things. So the way that I kind of articulated it was, there are some people that buy guns for sport and or protection. You know, they buy guns for sport. They like to shoot guns. They like to hunt, stuff like that. There are people that just want a gun in their home for protection because there are other guns. So, it's kind of like, well, what are you going to do? And there are people that have guns for sport and protection. And then there are people that are in love with guns, and they are constantly, all day, every day, fantasizing and romanticizing an opportunity in which they get to be a hero or a self-defender. And so they're constantly hyper vigilant, almost delusionally making up these scenarios in which they can harm or kill somebody. And that bracket of people is why we're in big trouble. I know that this is something that other countries don't have to consider, on top of what's going on with the school stuff, okay? And a lot of people want out of here, understandably so. I want things to change. Almost at this point, it's got to be by any means necessary. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know. And I wish, if we all did have to get out of here, that the people that hated immigrants, like if it got that bad here, no, you guys have to stay. Is there a way to do that? Okay. Anyways. So, this is the case of Ralph Yarl, a recovery of a black teen allegedly shot by a white homeowner after ringing the wrong doorbell is a miracle, attorney says. Now, this is CNN by Noran Salahi, Virginia Langmaid, and Eric Levinson of CNN, updated for 17 p.m. Wednesday, April 19th, 2023. A black teenager who authorities say was shot in the head by an 84-year-old white homeowner after going to the wrong Kansas City address received a positive prognosis but still faces a long road to recovery, according to his attorneys. In a new photo, 16-year-old Ralph Yarl appears sitting up on a bench alongside attorney Lee Merritt, according to an Instagram post Wednesday from activist and family spokesperson Sean King. He's home and he looks great. He is a walking miracle with a head of steel, King wrote. He had a bullet hit his head a fraction of an inch any other direction and he would probably be dead right now. Let me see if I can show you guys. This is little Ralph and this is his activist. Okay. Oh no, that's his attorney. Ralph Yarl sits on a bench next to attorney Lee Merritt in a photo posted Wednesday. The photo was posted by activist and family spokesperson Sean King. Also on Wednesday, the homeowner Andrew Lester entered a not guilty plea in court on felony charges of assault in the first degree and armed criminal action. Lester, who is out on a $200,000 bond, attempted to speak with the judge throughout the proceeding but was not argumentative. Part of both bond conditions include reporting to the police within 24 hours, once a month afterwards, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to get to the part where it's, okay. It does say that this incident was part of a number of shootings. So I will go back and tell you what happened, because this article doesn't seem to really do it, but Ralph is a teenager and he had some younger siblings. He went to, his mom said, go pick up your younger sibling or siblings, one or two, I'm not sure, and here's the address. So Ralph goes to pick up, he must be driving age. I don't know, was he driving or did he have to go walk to pick him up? I'm not totally sure. I think he drove to pick him up. And he was like, oh, okay, I think I'm at the right house. So he goes to pick up, it's not anywhere he's been. So he goes to ring the doorbell to get his siblings. And that was it. He rang the doorbell and a guy opened fire on him. Not just once. Ralph was laid out after being shot, and the guy came out and did it again. Then Ralph crawls looking for help from neighbors, and no neighbors help him for like several houses. So I just want to puke. I just want to go go up to all those people that didn't help him and the guy that hurt him and just absolutely obliterate them, to be honest. Like, how could you feel different? How could you not want to go put these people in their place? Obviously, we can't, because somehow the laws don't allow that. Everything feels so contradictory here. It's so hard to digest stories like this. And, they say that this kid was just such a joy, and not that, I don't care. Most teenagers are not such joys, and nobody deserves this. I don't care if the teenager was a total pain in the butt. I don't care if the teenager was dressed any kind of way. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that because somebody rings your doorbell, like, for any reason. That's not an invasion. Somebody ringing your doorbell is not an invasion. It is not scary. It's an annoyance. Okay? We'll see what this guy says. I took a look at this guy's face, and he just looks like he looks very mentally and physically not well. He's old. He's in his 80s. Let's see if it says anything else. Okay. Ralph's shooting fueled protests in Kansas City and spurred a unity walk in support of the teenager on Tuesday by an estimated 1,500 students at Staley High School, where he is a junior. Those close to the family expressed their amazement that Ralph survived and is recovering well. That really is just by chance. That's just a miracle. I don't understand. Another thing I don't understand is attempted versus murder. Because if somebody survives by some miracle of their own health or of their own higher power, who cares? Your intent was murder. So, them surviving shouldn't get you out of anything. It shouldn't get you a lesser charge, in my opinion. He has a prognosis of full recovery minus scarring and long-term maybe CTE and post-traumatic brain injury symptoms. And we know post-traumatic brain injury can turn you into a whole different person. So essentially, you could not be the same person you were before, and it wouldn't be his fault. And at his age, and as young as he is, and what this is going to do to his psyche, like, he could turn to substances. He could turn to, who knows? We don't know. Like, this is not okay. It's not okay. Just the fact that he survived is not, I don't even, according to King's Post, the conversation with Biden, so there's a conversation going on with Biden, what are we going to do? Nothing ever seems to be done. Doesn't matter who's in power. Nothing ever seems to be done. And let's still make the point that often it's not a cop's job. Cops aren't preventing this, nor could they. So heightening a police presence everywhere. Like, what are we going to have? People standing in front of every house? Like, that. It's not our job as regular people to figure everything out. And at this point, it feels like unless regular people have outrage and sort this stuff out and apply pressure, then it means nothing to officials. Nothing. They're just 9 times out of 10 trash. He lost a part of himself that day. A lot has changed since that happened. The way in which he's going to walk through this world is going to be totally different because of what happened, Spoonmore said. Questions remain over why Lester was released a few hours after being detained the night of yes, he was released. He was released until people put pressure on this event. That night, Ralph was asked, okay, here we go. So now we're getting into what happened. So I'll repeat it, but that night Ralph was asked to pick up his siblings and mistakenly went to 1100 Northeast 115th Street. So this guy's address, 1100 Northeast 115th Street, instead of 1100 Northeast 115th Terrace. So he went to street instead of terrace. Police and Ralph's family have said. When he arrived at the house, Ralph said he rang the doorbell and waited a while before a man eventually opened the door and immediately hit him in the head, causing him to fall. The probable cause statement says while the teenager was still on the ground, the man then fired again, shooting him in the arm, Ralph told police. Lester told police he opened his interior door and saw a black male approximately 6 feet tall pulling the exterior storm door handle, according to the document. Now, I have done this times as a child, even as an adult, to knock on the regular door. Like, okay, if I actually need to get a hold of somebody, like, let me knock on their regular door. Maybe the doorbell doesn't work and the screen just doesn't give a good knock, so I'll like knock on the regular door if it's important, you know. And obviously if your siblings are there and your mom said go get your siblings, you're like, I can't leave here without them. Knock on this door. He stated that he believed someone was attempting to break into the house and shot twice within a few seconds of opening the door. The probable cause statement reads. The boy told police he did not pull on the door, according to the probable cause statement. So I don't know if he did or didn't. He's saying he didn't. I believe him at this point. But like I'm saying, even if he did, and who knows, did it zap? Like, you know, when you get in a car accident or something crazy happens, you're like, wait a minute, what just happened? Did I but you can also be gaslit too, you know, like, oh, he said I did I do that? Like, so Police responded just before 10 p.m. that night after receiving reports of a shooting. They arrived to find Ralph wounded in the street. The boy had gone to neighbors looking for help after he was shot, according to police. Lester was taken into custody and then released less than 2 hours later. And 2 representatives at Kansas City Police Department Detention Unit previously told CNN. Thompson, the prosecutor, has said Lester was released because police recognized that more investigative work needed to be done. Merritt told CNN Tuesday night that he hasn't received a satisfactory answer as to why the suspect wasn't arrested until Tuesday, days after the shooting. Kansas City Mayor Quinton Lucas expressed his outrage and concern about the delay and the arrest, as well as his displeasure that Lester was released on bond. I understand how these things work, but it's awful. It's unfortunate that somebody who commits an offense like this, someone who I see as a threat to public, because I don't know what house he's in right now, he told CNN's Don Lemon on Wednesday. I don't know if that's a house that the next Amazon driver or postal worker or campaign worker may knock on the door, and then what? this is just terrifying. It's terrifying for everybody. It's terrifying for people of color. It's terrifying for teenagers. It's terrifying for teenage boys, for men. This is terrifying for anybody. This is terrifying for Uber delivery people, door dashing people. This is terrifying. Mayor says he believes the teen was racially profiled. Obviously, we're not going to argue that. Not here, we're not. On Tuesday, Ralph's attorney and aunt challenged, and it is racial profiling, but it should scare everybody, because this trigger-happy lunatic thing, and I'm going to do more videos on this, even if they don't get a ton of views, because it's so important to understand what's happening and just to raise awareness about it, and maybe that will make people have a talk with their relatives that seem like they could have the potential to do stuff like this. Okay, Ralph stands 5'8" tall and weighs 140 pounds. Now, my teenager is 5'9" and extremely skinny, but she's 5'9", and she has been. She's been 5'7" since 7th grade. So and she's dark. So I have experienced very odd things from other people, assuming she was much older or assuming she was more aggressive. And she used to say things like, well, I'm not going to bring like when she was little, she's always been super tall. She's like, I'm not going to bring toys because people think I'm older and that'll look weird to them. So anyways, okay, I'm getting emotional. There is no way that you can see fear when you look at that kid. If you look at him and not just see the color of his skin, there's no way you can see fear. Okay, so you have a right to walk up to someone's door and ring the bell. Yeah, you always have. You always have had that right. Like, it's, unless you hop a gate in a gated community, you have the right. And trust me, I'm a go away person. Like, I will be like, nobody's home, go away. And that's how you have that right to not be annoyed. Go away. Now, if somebody was out there like banging hard for a long time, that's still not invasion. So if they're out knocking forever, you should probably call. Maybe then it's time to call reasonably, have somebody come, as an authority figure, tell them to go. And they probably won't even get in trouble, honestly, for that, which that sucks. It sucks. Like I said, everything feels contradictory. But it's not a threat to have somebody tapping on a door or knocking on a door. This is a stand your ground state, and I think that unfortunately leads to cases like this. Add in implicit bias and you have a recipe for disaster. It remains unclear whether stand your ground laws will play a role in Lester's case. Here's the other thing that I don't understand. Now here, in a domestic case or a non-domestic case, you can't defend yourself with your hands. If somebody comes up and attacks you and you hit back, it's so hard to get, they just consider it a fight. I know this, that they have told people you have to lay down and take a beating in order to press charges. So you can't use your hands to defend an attack, but you have stand your ground rules that you could just end somebody. What is this? This feels like an alternate universe. So anyways, I have, like it said in the beginning of this article, there's a rash. I have 3 more articles saved that I want to get into that are all eerily similar. to what's happening. Like in this case, they're just eerily similar. And it's all within like a week. So everybody, talk to your relatives, hug your kids, talk to your kids. I don't know what we're going to do for the kids that have to grow up in this. I don't know. But it is time for me to get to work. So I hope like you can exhale. Let's have, let's just exhale and do with this information what we can. And I hope you have a decent rest of your day, rest of your evening, or a good night's sleep. And I will see